really happy we've been able to do this in person. This is so much more fun.
I know. I'm so excited. You said I saw it 2 days ago. We've been talking for like a couple of weeks now to find the time to schedule for an interview.
Probably.
Yeah. And then I saw online that you arrived in Tulum, and I said, dude, let's do it in person.
I know. This is perfect.
Where
now
are
we're
you?
sitting here in an epic location.
I know.
Weather is literally perfect, and we get to jam and do this.
I know. I'm excited. So excited, especially because I'm flying out tomorrow.
I know. Well, we got nick of time.
I know.
Nick of time.
Nick of time. I know. So, talk to me a little bit more about like what brings you actually here to Tulum right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great question. I've been living in Bali for 3.5 years now. Before that, I lived in Dubai for 2.5 years, and I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Bali's been fantastic, but myself, my wife, and I have 2 daughters as well, a 2 and a 4-year-old. We feel like it's time for a new chapter. It's time to move on now. We've always traveled a lot. Like, I literally had to go and get my eldest daughter a new passport not that long ago because she filled up her passport.
Yeah.
She's done something like 70-something flights in her 4 years, which is great, and they're phenomenal, and we have so much fun. But it's time for a new chapter. So we've kind of gone on a 4 to 5 month escapade around the world. I had a lot of work in LA and around LA, so we've just spent 6-7 weeks in LA. We've got a month now here in Tulum, and there's a bunch of other places that we're going to after this as well. So wanted to feel it out. Mexico's a place that I've always wanted to go to, and it just never came about. So then we were in LA, we're like, well, where to in LA? And I kind of looked at the map, I was like, Mexico. Asked a bunch of people, where would we go in Mexico? Everybody said Tulum, and I was like, all right, this is a done deal, sold. So found a villa, booked it for a month, and here we are today.
Perfect. I know that feeling. That's so interesting because I was in Germany for an event, and I was going to go to Asia as I do every year, and I looked on the map and I said, well, I kind of want to go somewhere else, and Tulum popped up.
It's just there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go. Yeah,
it's a great place.
Yeah,
I love this here.
Yeah. I know the feeling of trying to find new places to live and new places to go. What makes you now rotate and explore new places?
Yeah, I'm on my journey, so I'm definitely not coming to this answer right now having the golden key for it, but I want to live in different locations because I feel like we get stale in certain places. I want to experience, I want to taste, I want to explore the world. I really want to treat life as an adventure. And I'm very much a black sheep of my family. Like, they really don't travel whatsoever, and it's hilarious. The way I live my life and what I do and everything like that, very opposite. So we always laugh about that. So for me, it's, okay, what makes me happy? Because like, I don't do the cold. So I'm not going to go to a place that has cold. So after here, we actually had booked to go to New York, and I saw on someone's Instagram story it was snowing in New York. We were just talking about this before, and I literally was like, we're not going to New York.
We just don't winter well.
No, don't do it. I literally don't do it. I was like, okay, well, let's go to LA, spend maybe another couple of weeks in LA, and then we'll go somewhere else. So anyway, that was that way. So where do we want to live? It's got to be great food. It's got to be health conscious. There's got to be a really good community. There's got to be a place where I can operate my business out of. And look, being in Bali, especially when we first got there, it kind of felt like I had the internet that was maybe a carrier pigeon could have done a better job when I was first there.
I remember that.
And for now, it's just trying to find a place where we can enjoy, but at the same time, I've really come around to the conclusion that the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And home essentially is where we are, and where we are as a family for me. So I'm really enjoying this experience. I'm really getting, I literally pinch myself every day. I say multiple times a day, I cannot believe this is the life I live. I cannot believe that I'm able to do what I do. Because for me, I was a personal trainer for 8 years in Sydney. I felt stifled in the 4 walls of a gym, training clients from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m, 6 days a week. I had the opportunity to move to Dubai and start my business there. So we found out my wife was pregnant. 3 days after I found out I had this opportunity to move to Dubai and start the business, and I was like, we're taking it. I'm doing this right now. And it was one of the scariest, one of the stupidest things that I could have ever done, but it was one of the best things I've ever done. Like, I literally cried on that flight going there because I was like, I knew one person on the other side. I was leaving my pregnant wife soon to come baby. I had a few months to set up the business, set up our life, fly back to Sydney. She gave birth to our daughter Arlo. We flew back as a family.
Right.
I mean, lived there. But again, I didn't exactly learn my lesson the first time around.
Yeah.
I burnt out again as a personal trainer in Dubai. Like, from the outside in, I was successful. Do you know what I mean? I had all the clients I had, trainers I want, charging a premium, training shakes. It was all fantastic, but I wanted freedom. I wanted to help more people. I felt stifled, and that's where I was kind of like dabbling with the online business. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm good at this. I really enjoy this. And after one conversation, my wife and I pretty much smoke bombed the city. I gave all my clients away. We sold absolutely everything again. And that's when we moved to Dubai. And yeah, kind of here we are today.
Yeah, that's incredible. So what is it that you do today?
Well, I run two companies now. So one is health and fitness, Mind Body Blends, which is we help people lose weight, get in shape.
Yeah.
And we're just about to start our nutritional supplement line as well, which I'm super pumped about. I just published a book, so I'll definitely plug that. It's called Craving the Truth, but all profits of the book are going to working with a charity. So one book feeds one child. The other company I run is a business coaching business where we help trainers and coaches run their face-to-face or online business. So I get to play with both sides of the world. And I know so many people say, like, do you mean focus on one thing and have one niche and have... I get bored.
Yeah,
I'll be perfectly honest. I get really bored. I'm like, if I just talk business the whole time, I'm like, nah. But if I just talk like health, training, fitness, all that stuff, I'm like, oh my God, put a hole in my head. So I like being able to change between the two and the two businesses.
I feel exactly the same way.
Keep me busy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and this is like especially, I'm having a bit of an experiment right now here whilst we're in Tulum over the next 4 weeks. I only am allowing myself 9 hours of work a week. So I want to be able to run everything in a 9 hour gap. Now, will shit hit the fan? Sure, because I've done this before. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like a pressure test on the business. It makes me put systems, procedures, team members in place to be able to do that stuff. So I'm really getting into the mindset. I was in a recent mastermind and it was great. And this one lady was just like, Chris, like, you're the CEO now. Like, stop trying to run all the things and wear all the hats. Like, step outside of that. And I was like, oh my God, like, I still had in my head that I was a personal trainer. And I was like, I don't do that anymore. Yep. So I had a really big slap to the face moment where I had to change my view of myself and how I ran the companies. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's really big to be able to step back from your baby.
Scary.
Yeah.
It takes cojones, but it's good.
Yeah, because you build it, you know? You build it with your blood, sweat, and tears.
Totally.
And then you have to step away from it and let it
and you like
run.
pass it off to somebody else and be like, don't screw this up.
Like for you, it's like, don't micromanage.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been very mindful of that as well because I feel like very much in the, like, let's say digital nomad community, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of like that solopreneur situation and maybe they've got a VA or a couple of contractors and stuff like that, but it really changes. And especially with, say, My Body Blends, Kat, my business partner with that company, she's a very successful female entrepreneur. And it's funny, we're really coming at this company being like, you know what, this is a side hustle for us. But our goal is to have this as a $100 million business. So it's like, we always kind of chuckle, but we know we're very serious about this. Like, this is a $100 million side hustle that we want to build. But what I'm loving about doing this and this new like project and this new business is doing it the right way from the beginning. Like, not having the time. Like, we literally had dinner the other night. We're like, look, we're too busy to do like all these different things. Team members have to come straight into play with this. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to pre-launch these products. Let's build our community first, have them, do you know what I mean, take the baton and run with it. And so we're not there trying to do everything because I feel like it's so easy as an entrepreneur to just dive in, take on all the roles, be doing too much, which was certainly my problem when I first started as well. So it's good being able to properly dissect what needs to be done and who needs to do that. So not how does that get done, it's who does that job and working from there.
Yeah, 100%. What's your number one advice to somebody who wants to follow their sense of adventure and their personal freedom?
First, have the consciousness to be real and honest with yourself. Because if you don't have that, I don't feel like you can get to the true answer and you're always chasing something else. a big part of what I'm doing now with this new online show is I want to talk to people, and why I wanted to talk to you is I want to talk to people where they've redefined success.
Yeah.
They've redefined what success means. They've redefined how to get there as well. So the most common thing that I keep seeing is they're stepping outside of the mold that's so easy for us to fall into at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there really is a societal mold. And I think that's why it helps with us getting into these communities like DNX, being literally outside and in different countries. It changes your perception. Like your brain works differently when you change the environment. So have the consciousness to actually be real with yourself, and decide on, firstly, what brings you the most joy. What are you good at? What is it that you want to do? Who do you want to be around? When do you want to do it? All those kind of things, and just be like, I recently went and did a 4-day silence meditation retreat, and I journaled so much in that. And I think it's the first time I truly gave myself the space, the mind space, to sit there and just work through problems by myself. Because otherwise it's too easy to go to social media or go to emails or talk with clients or your team, and all this stuff is just clutter that stops you from actually getting real. So have consciousness and be real with yourself.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
It's great. I know, I just love listening to you.
It's not easy. Like that's the hardest part. I feel like everything else falls into place once you've got that. Like I'm a big fan of reverse engineering things. So if we say, you know what, I want to have the business that earns this much with me doing this, with me being able to work in, say, location freedom, all this kind of stuff, then you can start to plot it along. Like, perfect example, when members come onto our programs, I always say on their onboarding call, I'm like, look, how much money do you want to earn? And they might say, I want to earn $250,000 a year. I go, okay, great. Why isn't that $500,000? I always just double the number. I'm like, why isn't that $500,000? And they're like, some sort of excuses come mumbling out of their mouth. At the end of the day, they're the ones simply standing in front of their own way. They're the ones that are stopping their own success and being their limiting self. And I say that to them. I go, look, there's 2 reasons why I asked that question. 1, I want you to see that you're the limiting factor to where it is that you want to go. I understand that, let's say if I ask you that question in 3 months' time after we've been working together, that it's going to be exponentially bigger, and that's cool. But secondly, it's also so that we can design the business around what it is that you need. If you want a $250,000 business, okay, great, we design that, we map that out, we reverse engineer it. If then suddenly you get to that point, you go, oh, okay, I want a $2.5 million business a year, it's a different model. Do you know what I mean? You don't do 10 times more of what a $250,000 business is for a $2.5 million. It's a different model with how that works. So that's why you need to have agility in how that business actually operates, or just completely restructure it as well.
Business modeling. Now you're singing my song here. It's all about business modeling, understanding how you model it and reverse engineer it, and then know what kind of products and services you can take to market.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't do that, you're screwed at the end of the day.
I 100% on it. I think a lot of times, especially within our infrastructure, there's a lot of coaching models that are simply broken because people don't actually think about what kind of business they want to have, what kind of lifestyle they want to have, and how to reverse engineer it. And they get really lost in the isolation, the alienation, and also, the idea of following the digital nomad path without checking in with themselves whether or not that's
just like what I said before, like when I first started, and do you know what I mean, I was like working Bali, I could work in anywhere in the world. I ended finding myself in my home office just plugging away, and I got depressed and very unhappy because I didn't have the personal connection. So now the way I designed, say, my business coaching business is 3 times a year I get all our clients come together. So literally after here we'll be not New York, we'll go to LA for a little bit, and then I'm actually off to Thailand for a 4-day retreat that I hold with my clients. I think we might do one time of the year here in Tulum. I'm really enjoying it here, and I always want another excuse, and that's the way I want to roll with it, because I also looked at it, so I fell into the trap. I had one of my great mentors. I was looking at how he operated, and I was like, oh, maybe I want it to work like that. And then I didn't ask myself what I wanted, and I got to a point I was like, hang on, I don't want to do that. I'd rather it this way. So I was like, let's do 3 get-togethers. I'm going to choose where I want to go in the world. And I threw this out to my members. I was like, hey, what about these locations? And they came back with it. I was like, perfect, let's do it. It's so much easier than we make it out to be. I just feel like we always overcomplicate things. We always make things seem way too hard, where we just need to put one step in front of the other once we get clear on ourselves.
Yeah. So I hear you say that clarity is the number one thing that a person needs.
Totally. I'm harping that one often, is once you get clarity, then we can start doing everything else.
What's your number one tool to get clarity and keep clarity?
Journaling. I think for sure. I think like meditation plays, or like a mindfulness practice definitely is in there. But I found for myself, journaling is the best thing, because I found that the time it takes to go from my brain to the pen, I can call bullshit on myself, and it doesn't even come out, and the truth will then start to come out. All my members that I've said, hey, I think this is going to be a really good tool for you to be able to use, they've all come back with resounding results with it. It's hard to have somebody soundboard, like as in a personal relationship. So I don't like, say, going to my wife and asking questions to her about, hey, what do you think about this? Like, they're too disconnected from it. So I think journaling and a mentor is the two biggest things that you need, because having somebody where, like, I did it yesterday with, we did a coaching call, and there was two members that were like, oh, like, they were super excited, wanting to go down this path. I was like, do this. And they've already come back, messaged me this morning. Great, do you know what I mean? Got new clients, made money already with these, like, super simple stuff. So it's being able to have somebody that can just say to you, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing of you as well. And being able to put you on a path to take some best steps, because we can get way too much up in our own heads, especially sitting there. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if you're working at a cafe, at a resort, in your home office, whatever. It's not going to be good for you to be able to just be in your head all day, every day.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I believe in the mentorship model myself. I think it makes all the difference in the world.
I think it's the best money you can spend.
Yeah.
I'm just about to join another mentorship, and it's going to be another 50 grand a year. And I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to put that money down because I know it will come back so much more.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. I know it's going to be putting me in rooms with people that I need to be in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not even the direct mentors, it's who else am I really closely surrounding myself with as well, which already has, not business-wise, totally personally, has transformed me in the last 3 weeks of some people I've connected to, really being able to grow some great relationships with. It's been transformative.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. It's clarity and building an environment in which you can thrive.
Totally.
The connections.
Totally.
And that's the mentorship, and that's the community that comes with it.
And I think if I had to add a third, the rule of three is always fun. Take brutal responsibility for yourself.
What do you mean by that?
You're the ownership for the wins, you're the ownership for the losses, you're the ownership for everything else. If you're trying to pass the buck off to your mentor, to the community, to anybody else, to any situation, life will never work for you. And I feel like once you have clarity, once you can surround yourself in the environment, and once you take responsibility for absolutely everything, I think you're unstoppable. Like, that's such a solution-orientated world that success is inevitable.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. If you learn how to take responsibility for yourself, your decisions, and the obstacles you may be creating yourself.
Totally.
I mean, that's the most important factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, once you understand that sometimes, I'm just thinking about my conversation with my mentor yesterday, that my perceived obstacle wasn't real, it was my perception. Yeah. But I did need to have that session where I needed someone to say, yeah, with all due respect, sounds great, however,
totally. Yeah.
This is where you're looking at it wrong. And it changed everything.
Yep.
Because sometimes we can't operate out of a silo and we cannot see ourselves.
But also, you've got to give yourself the respect that you took the ownership of being able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to say, yes, you are right, I have done this, now I need to go do this, because I still feel like, and this is where like mentorships and communities and all this stuff can go wrong, is because you can still kind of flip the bird to it and say, no, I'm going to do something else, or you're wrong and I'm right, and all that kind of stuff comes into it. But yeah, I think the ownership's such a key part that so few people really talk about, because it's such an ego kill at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. So much of the time we're playing to our egos, especially as entrepreneurs. Like, do you know what I mean? It's all about how much money we're earning, or like all this frivolous stuff at the end of the day, which is just BS.
Yeah.
And that's what I've really appreciated and learned the hard way.
Talk to me a little bit more about the ego component of that. Like, how did you learn how to,
like,
deal with your ego?
I came through as, I became a personal trainer. So this was something actually I came to, so I'll kind of give you the story with this, was I actually was having lunch with my mentor, and he was like, Chris, look, what would you do if money wasn't a problem anymore? You're going to be pretty close to that, so answer it. I'd never been asked that question. I never thought about that question. And I was like, oh my God. And it just came like tumbling out of my mouth. I went, learn and share.
Yeah.
And I really dissected that. And I was like, that's actually what I've been doing the entire time, but I need to be more conscious of this. But I was really overweight as a kid. That's what got me into being a personal trainer, because I figured out how to lose weight. I wanted to help other people do that.
Yeah.
I ran a really crappy business for a while. I learned how to run a good business. So then I went and helped other trainers and coaches run their business. Now, honestly, I kind of feel like I'm going through another evolution myself, where I love the lifestyle and life that I'm being able to live. Now I want to help other people be able to do that as well. Coming from the personal training world, the ego's a big thing. Do you know what I mean? It's all about how good do I look and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of the time, and this is just straight up from so many conversations I've had, like, I built this body because it was a protective mechanisms for other things, do you know, because I felt bad inside. So I thought if I had the muscle and the strength and all this stuff, that I wouldn't, like, it was covering it up. And do you know what I mean? It's a lie at the end of the day. So when we sit down, we're trying to get clarity. We're trying to decide on who our community is. We're deciding, do I need a mentor, and who that mentor is going to be. We're deciding whose responsibilities, do you mean the wins and the losses. If our ego is standing in the way, then we're not going to get the right answer.
Right.
And we need to be able to get past that. And like, look, it's not about, I don't think it's about killing off the ego. I think it definitely plays its part.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, we have to figure out of what's our true North Star and how do I actually work towards that. But at the same time, I think we need to embrace the ego, because it does help us through times that we need.
Right.
It's a great question. I wish I could answer it better, to be perfectly honest, because going through my head right now is like, I really want a better answer to that myself. Do you know what I mean? But that's exactly what I'm going through now.
Yeah.
Because, do you know what I mean, you could, we can jump up and down and say, oh, okay, do you know what I mean? I did 400K in revenue this month. Do you know what I mean? And then, but what's your profit margin?
Right.
Well, that's a different picture. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, let's say with my coaching business, profit margin's really high. But then if you're having a conversation with somebody that maybe runs like a physical product business, do you know what I mean? The profit margin's really low.
Yeah.
So like, two of us sitting there and saying, we did a 400K month, well, it's very different what's happening at the end of the day and what you're taking away with. But even again, why does that matter? Do you know what I mean? Why does that money matter? What are you doing with that money at the end of the day? And that's what the thing, like, I wanted to give my ego a massive kick in the nuts with the book, because I got told, you don't publish your book and make money. And so I sat there and I really was like, okay, I really wanted to write this book. And people are saying I'm not going to make money from it. So I went, well, why don't I do something better with that? Why don't we actually, and for me, like, do you mean something I really want to do legacy-wise, if you want to say that, is I want to help children. I want to help the next generation. I was really touched and influenced by my youngest daughter's birth. It was a home birth. I was there. I received her as she came out. It was a beautiful experience.
How many kids do you have now?
I have two daughters.
Okay.
And like the midwives were just exceptional, angels. I just cannot believe what they do. Like they are next level.
Where was she born?
In Bali.
In Bali. Okay.
In Bali, yeah. It was very funny. So we're not religious, but like we're sitting like in our villa. There was actually a call to prayer that we could hear that was happening, which was very funny because we lived in Dubai for a couple of years. So that had some real meaning to us, and it's a good experience. The midwives sang this Hindu song that, like, do you remember when it was really close to Sunny coming out? But anyway, then I was like, okay, I want to do something bigger and better. And so I started a foundation called Sunny Start, where I want to help children. And so the whole point of it was like the future is bright. Do you mean Sunny Start? So for me, I was like, okay, well, this book, I'm going to find a charity, which I found a charity in Bali. I did some work with them to make sure they are legit. And Solomon, which is the charity, are fantastic. Robert Epstein, that's the owner of that, is phenomenal. So I went, all right, you know what? For this book, all the profits of the book are going to go towards them. And so doing one book equals feeding one child. And that was a huge kick to the ego, do you mean? Because who knows over the lifespan, how much money, how many dollars am I not getting because of that? And that's where I got to the point. I was like, I don't care. This is so much better. And I know more will come to me because of that as well. And I can do more with that again. And then it's a multiplication factor of being able to do more for the world from it. Because at the end of the day, how much money do you really need? Like, I'm a pretty simple dude at the end of the day.
Same.
Don't really like doing flashy stuff. I can happily say that I earn more than enough money now where lifestyle living is fine. Totally happy with it. Do I want to earn more? Fuck yeah, I do. Do you know what I mean? But it gives me more power to do other things as well.
That's the thing, right? What do you do with the money you earn, right?
Totally.
What do you want? What's your mission?
Totally.
You know? Like some people want to buy stuff. I don't want stuff. I move around. I can't fit in a
suitcase. I get penalized really badly when I have too much weight in my suitcases. I don't like that.
I was talking to a friend down here, and they, you know, there's like, don't you want to buy these pretty dresses? I'm like, they're pretty, but I got no space in my suitcase.
I literally have like 3 t-shirts, 2 shorts, 2 pairs of pants. I think that's it.
That's it. I know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's. I believe in the concept of living lightly.
Okay, I completely lied. The only thing I actually have a lot of, and I have a storage shed that's back in Sydney, but it's just full of books.
Right.
There's like 10 massive boxes of books, and even on this trip, I bought like another like 10 books. I just went nuts on Amazon when I was in LA, and I'm like, what am I doing? It's all this weight. But I was like, anyway, it's worth it.
I know I have a book problem. I hear that. I hear that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've traveled around the world, and you know, just stacks of books.
Yeah.
And then people would be like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I did switch over to audiobooks, and
I do audiobooks as well, but I love to be able to like sit and read. Something I've actually really realized on this trip as well is I need to give myself more me time.
Yeah.
I really burnt myself out when I was in LA launching the book. I did something like 35 interviews in a really short amount of time. I put way too much on my plate, and I got to a point where I just felt really bad. I was like, I'm burning out right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is not good. So I need time, and it's unbelievable. Even the last few days here in Tulum, sun, a little bit of training, eating great food, more guacamole than you can poke a stick at, and I'm feeling phenomenal. How good's it go?
Yeah,
oh God.
The food here is great.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've been eating myself up and down the beach here.
It's so good.
It's like Bali. You know, in Bali you can also eat
really good
all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
And I love good food.
Yeah.
I know. I hear that. Thank you so much for making the time. This was amazing. It was
My
so
pleasure.
incredible.
Thank you so much.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your ongoing support. Before I leave you, I want to invite you into my world. Please go check out dnxcommunity.com. This is where you'll find the other nomads and evaders of convention. We'll see you there. And if you're interested in our English-speaking events, go and check out dnxglobal.com. You'll find the link below this podcast as well. And if you have time, one last favor, please go to iTunes, look for Sylvia Chrisman or look for the DNX podcast and leave a review. Thank you so much, lovely people, and I'll talk to you next time.